Do you think children should be made to study classic literature at school?
I don't know about the classic literature bit. I kind of think it's been similar for a long time, hasn't it? The kind of texts that you have to study at school. I think it's far more important to get children into reading. And I think there's such a diverse range out there now of, you know, young adult books and all kinds of things that children might be interested in that I think is more relative to kind of what they're going through and might inspire them to get reading and then maybe progress to some classics if they wanted to.
So perhaps the more important thing is actually just to get children reading, whatever type of literature that takes.
Yeah.
Rather than what it is that they read. I mean, arguably, if a child is given Shakespeare can be really hard to access, can't it? Really hard to read. And a child who doesn't find it easy to read actually just might find that really difficult. It might just put them off reading.
I think that's the important thing. It's all about when it's introduced.
Yes.
I remember...
And how, actually.
Yeah, and how, definitely, yeah. I remember being a 14, 15-year-old in class reading Shakespeare and...
Thinking, what?
Why on earth are we doing this? Yeah, I couldn't think of anything more useless, I think. And then I remember a turning point at about 16, thinking, hang on, this is actually quite interesting.
Yes.
You know, this is someone who wrote something 500 years ago, and I'm sort of getting what they mean. You know, and I think there was something really quite magical in that. There was that continuity.
Yeah. And maybe if you hadn't been made to read that, you'd have probably never picked that book up off the shelves.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If you don't do it at school, when will you see the classics? Yeah.
And I guess it's how it's taught to you as well. If you see it as kind of a boring text that doesn't mean anything to you, but then with Shakespeare, for example, all the idioms and all the language that he created, that makes it more related to everyday life, doesn't it?
Yes.
But then I think some classics, I read my first Jane Austen recently, and just the dialogue, and it's quite long-winded, and they were all obsessed with marriage and stuff, and that just kind of turns you off, doesn't it? So I think it depends on the books.
Yes, I think it does, and how they're put across, I think, is really important too, and maybe classical, but also being part of a much wider curriculum.
Yeah, definitely.